Okay, 5.2, guys, all we're going to do is pretty much the same thing as 5.1. We are just proving identities. There's just going to be an equal sign here. Um, let's go ahead and talk about some tips that are going to make it successful for you. I would certainly write this down because this is going to help you if you get stuck. So first of all, we are going to work on the side that looks the most complicated or the most busy. We're going to add one more thing. We're also going to focus on the main trig functions, which are sine, cosine, and tangent. So if that's present, that's also going to be the first thing that we want to leave alone. If we are stuck with anything like a single fraction, try multiplying by the conjugate. And remember, that is a binomial that has the opposite sign in the middle. And then the last, or the second to the last thing, guys, again, it's really close to 5.1. Only thing that's different is you're going to have an equal sign. And then you know you are finished when you have a true number sentence and both sides are identical. All right, so I'm on page 12, just following along with the packet. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this look like that. We're going to focus on this side because it has the most stuff here. So what we're going to do is we are going to rewrite cosecant as 1 over sine. And cosine, of course, is the benchmark. We're going to leave that as cosine. And if we multiply straight across, guys, of course, that's just going to be cosine over sine, which is indeed cotangent. So this equals cotangent. I'm going to bring down the equal sign, bring down the other side of the equation. They are absolutely identical, and that is really all that we're doing. We're just proving this equals that. And since we don't know what this is, and we can't really solve for a variable because there's a lot of unknowns here, we're just going to rewrite this side to look like that, and that's how we proved our equation. That's how we solved and verified the identity of this equation. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. So number 2, obviously we're going to leave that alone. So we're going to try to rewrite this as a 1. So I am going to go ahead and focus on the inside right now. Whoops. So remember, that's going to be 1 plus cosine squared over sine squared. All right, and then remember, sine squared is being distributed to it. Now, what I want to just kind of point out to you guys, when I do my work and my solving, I'm not necessarily writing this, but the theta symbol is certainly coming back in my final answer. So if you don't see me writing the theta symbol during my steps, that's okay. I just have to have it in my final answer. So this is going to be sine squared, because I distributed. Over here is going to be sine squared times cosine squared, but remember, this is over sine squared. And what is happening is these are going to cancel each other out. So we're going to have sine squared plus cosine squared, and of course that does equal 1. So there we are. We have the left side to look like the right side. They are identical. So we are pretty confident that we did our work correctly. Let's go ahead and look at example 3. All right, so for example 3, we're going to try to make everything look like cosecant. Cosecant is a reciprocal, but remember, we do need to focus on this side that's most busy, and this certainly has a lot going on. All right, let me go ahead and rewrite the inside. I'm going to work inside the parentheses first. So remember, sine over cosine is tangent, and of course cosine over sine is cotangent. Let me go ahead and combine these. I've got to have an LCD. My LCD here is going to be both of these multiplied together. So remember, the LCD is going to be cosine times sine. Now this is missing sine, so it has to be multiplied by sine over sine. This is missing cosine. So sine times sine, of course, is sine squared. I'm going to recopy the plus sign. Cosine times cosine, of course, is cosine squared. All right, so now what we have is, remember, this is being multiplied by cosine. But I've got an identity right here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and knock that out. So this is going to be cosine, and this is going to be 1 over cosine times sine. And when we distribute, guys, if you notice, these cosines are going to cancel out because this is like over 1 and that's under 1. So they're going to cancel. So we're going to have 1 over sine equals cosecant, which it sure does because this is the reciprocal of that. So when we bring sine out of the denominator, it's going to be cosecant. And there we go. We have it matching the right side of the equation. So they are identical. Okay, so guys, I just would like for you to please try to do this one on your own. I'm going to give you a couple of tips. First of all, obviously focus on that side because that's where all this stuff is. And you know you're on the right track if you have to use that identity. So please try to make this turn into sine squared.